Hey, this is Larry with ManCave Mayhem. Today we're going to be installing the Unit Garage Pannier racks on my 2022 Triumph Scrambler XC. Now I've already got this thing partially disassembled because I am also putting the top rack in. This is going to be a separate video which will be on the screen somewhere around here at the end of this video. So if you want to see how to do this, just check that out. But a lot of it's the same. I'm just trying to keep these two separated for those of you that didn't buy the top rack or didn't buy the Pannier racks. You can keep those two videos separate and you don't fall asleep listening to me talk. So anyhow, we're gonna get started on these side Pannier racks from Unit Garage. I got it laid out here. These are the two racks. There's gonna be some other parts. I'm gonna go through it step by step. Right now, this bike's broken down. Basically, we removed this cover using a 5mm Allen key. And then we removed the existing rack with a 6mm Allen key. And we also backed that with a 13mm wrench on these two because there's two nuts on that. If you were putting this rack on separately, that's the extent you would go. You would just replace those, put everything back together, and you'd be done. But we're going a little further. We're gonna go ahead and put these Pannier racks on. So let's get started. Points for this Pannier rack are gonna be similar to the rack mounting points. One here, and then we're also removing this foot peg to mount the Pannier rack behind this. So we got to get this the passenger foot peg off, and then we'll get behind here and get this Allen bolt loosened up. So let's get. Okay, so we're gonna get down here, and you got a circlip here that you're gonna just need a little screwdriver to take that out, and then this should just pop right out. Be careful; these are spring loaded, so they tend to lose things if you're not careful. Not too bad though. This came right out. So now we're gonna get, I try to keep all this stuff together. This has got a little ball bearing in it right here, if you can see that. So you don't want to lose that little ball. So I always put this stuff back together or put it in a box where you don't lose everything. So we're gonna do that right now. Keep this all together. Then we'll move on to the next step. 6mm Allen key right here in the Allen bolt behind that foot peg. And we're gonna take that off, and then we're gonna back that with a ratchet. And we got a 12mm socket, and we're just gonna back that, and we're gonna take this off right now. So we'll do that right now. All right, next step in the process is I'm just gonna throw a couple rags over my pipe area, because that's kind of where the frame's gonna be resting. And we're gonna start to attach the frame down here loosely, okay? So we're going with that now. Pipe side, we're gonna attach that frame loosely. Black spacer, the way we got this set up, and let's show you the frame. We got the longer bolt, and it's gonna be the M45, which is this longer bolt. And then we've got the black spacer and a nut. And then the frame, so the black spacer falls behind that right there, as you can see. And then we're gonna go ahead and put that nut after that. So that's the order in which it goes. So we'll do that now. Now we're moving to the second mounting point right here, and we're going to be using the M70 Allen head and using the original nut from the frame. And with this, I'm also mounting the rack too. So we're going to put that on there loosely, and then we'll move to the next step. Have that ran through. Then I'm putting the original nut back on along with mounting this rack. So I am going to put a little blue Loctite on this just to make me feel warm and fuzzy. Now we mount the third spot, and we use this with the spacer, and that goes through here, and there's already there's a welded on nut to the back side of this, so we're just going to run that through there. Also, I will be putting a little blue Loctite on there to make me feel safe. The spacer actually goes in between the rack and the frame. Now, I think that's mainly for the stock grab handle because there's some room there, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it on this too because I do have this other rack. It may be a little different, but I think it puts it basically in the same area. So this spacer will go in between these two, the rack and this. So that's a bit of a struggle getting this to line up here with this arm to get it all bolted together. So what I did is I loosened this arm up via the bolts underneath. Now we're going to try and get that to hook up. If not, I don't know what's going on. It's kind of a bad fitment issue, I think, but we're going to try it and see. Let's look at it. So that kind of shows you how it's attached. What a bear that was to put on though. I had to loosen this bracket under here, or this one bracket, to get it through here. So just make a note of that if you guys are installing this. Don't panic too much, but you can tell it'll probably all come together once you start tightening things up. But at this point in time, that side is loosely attached. And you can see that right now. We got it all loosely attached. Now we're gonna move over to the left side. Left side, we're gonna be doing the same thing. First, we're gonna take off the passenger foot peg. We're gonna loosen this up. We're gonna get it attached down here. Same holes apply on this side. So it's just gonna be a repeat of the same thing. So we'll go through that and show you how it's done. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now, this is kind of challenging because you're trying to line everything up, and there is some, variations on bikes and the way everything works. I didn't have to loosen this arm up for this, so that went on fairly well. This was kind of challenging to get on. It was hard. I had to pinch it together. But overall, the racks are on loosely now. Now we need to get the fender up and get it secured back into place. And then we will run the crossbar across the back, and that strengthens the whole system. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. And hopefully this all comes together the way it's supposed to. Right now it looks like a hot mess, so we'll see. All right, now we can see things are starting to come together. Got the fender and everything put back. So everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing right now. And everything's attached but this crossbar. So we're gonna go ahead and mount this next, the crossbar, and we'll show you how that's done. Now with these two button head bolts and nuts and washers, we're gonna attach this crossbar. Crossbar goes on like that, and it goes on the inside of the racks. So you can see there's a little shelf right there where that thing will rest on. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna put that on, and then everything else has to be snugged up after that. So that's what we're gonna do, so you can see how that attaches. You get the washer on each side with the locking nut, and that's kind of a back view, rear view of that. Now we're gonna tighten everything down slowly but surely. Here we go. Do not put this back. Leave it off until the end, because you got to back these nuts up. So just a heads up, I'm a dummy. So this is an additional piece that I bought from Unit Garage, and it's got this adapter that goes on, and I kind of like it. I bought it, and I'm hoping it'll work with my Tusk panniers, simply because it keeps the panniers away from the heat of the exhaust. I haven't got it on here yet, but you can adjust it accordingly. So you can move it in or out, and I just thought this would be a good thing to have, just to keep the heat away from the exhaust. Now I think they make the one for the other side too, and I may or may not get that one for that side, just so I have two of them. They're not really made for that, but I think they'll work good. So that's what I'm hoping to do now, is put those on, and we'll see how it acts with the panniers on there. That'll be kind of a little addition to the rack, the pannier racks themselves. All right, now that we got everything tightened down and snugged up, only thing else needs to go on are the foot pegs, but I just wanted to show you guys how this looks with everything on. Now this is a Unit Garage pannier racks for the 2022. I think it fits 2019 all the way up to present, 2022 Scrambler XC and XE. So anyhow, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and leave me a comment below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as you can. Hit that bell for notifications. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram at ManCave_Mayhem. And just remember, I'm just a man in a cave causing mayhem. Thanks again for watching.